Have you ever noticed your energy isn't what it used to be? That spark, the one that used to fuel your mornings, your walks, your closeness with your partner, starts to flicker? It's not just in your head. It's not just getting older. What if I told you something as small as the nuts in your kitchen could quietly be shaping your blood flow, your energy, even your confidence? Hi, I'm Dr. Edward. I've spent over 35 years helping men over 50 rediscover their vitality naturally, without risky drugs or empty promises. And today, I'm going to show you a simple, powerful way to support your circulation, hormones, and intimacy using just a few natural foods. It's not about doing more, it's about doing smarter. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a tip that could change how you age. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? I read every reply. Now let's talk about the real issue. Your body is like an old house. If you stop using the heat, the pipes freeze. If you let the wiring corrode, the lights flicker. The same thing happens inside you. After 60, blood vessels shrink. Hormones decline. Your diet may lack the spark that once kept everything moving. That slow, quiet shift, that's what leads to cold hands, poor sleep, and distant intimacy. But here's the good news. Nature already built the blueprint for your recovery. And it starts with the right kind of nuts. Yes, nuts. But not all of them are created equal. Some restore your energy like flipping a switch. Others quietly do more harm than good. Let me show you. Let's start with a powerhouse, Brazil nuts. These are like tiny capsules of selenium, a mineral most older men don't get enough of. Selenium is essential for testosterone, thyroid function, and keeping your nervous system sharp. 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day, that's it, can bring your selenium levels back to where they were 30 years ago. I had a patient, Harold, 67, who complained of foggy thinking and low libido. His labs showed low selenium. 3 weeks of a Brazil nut every morning, and he said, I feel like someone cleaned the windshield. Now prepare yourself. This next nut might already be in your pantry, and its benefits go deeper than most people realize. Almonds. These are rich in calcium, magnesium, and antioxidants. Most older men don't think about bone health until it's too late. But strong bones aren't just about standing tall. They affect posture, pain, and confidence. Almonds also support memory and digestion. A small handful in the morning, soaked overnight, if digestion is an issue, can give your brain the minerals it needs to stay alert. I once met Leonard, a retired history teacher, 72. He was forgetting names, losing track of conversations. His diet? Full of sugar, low on good fats. We added almonds, replaced his morning toast with oatmeal and almond slices. In 30 days, his wife called me. He's telling stories again. He's back. Get ready, because this next nut isn't just a snack. It's brain food. Walnuts. These look like little brains for a reason. Rich in omega-3s, polyphenol, and melatonin, walnuts help improve cognitive function, protect against dementia, and support deep, restorative sleep. They're a natural anti-inflammatory, essential after 60 when inflammation is the silent enemy. Think of them as tiny shields for your mind. One patient, Curtis, 69, former truck driver, used to wake up 5 times a night. He swapped late-night snacks for a few walnuts an hour before bed. He told me, I'm sleeping through, and I remember my dreams again. And now, the fourth nut you should be eating, especially if you care about blood pressure, vision, and blood sugar. Pistachios. High in potassium, fiber, and healthy fats, pistachios help regulate blood pressure, improve eye health, and stabilize blood sugar. For men with creeping blood sugar or a family history of diabetes, this is crucial. They're also a great swap for salty, processed snacks. I recommend a small bowl in the afternoon when cravings hit. They're satisfying, stabilize your energy, And don't spike your blood sugar like chips or candy. One patient, Miguel, a 64-year-old grandfather, replaced his cookies with pistachios. 6 weeks later, fewer sugar crashes, better focus, and his wife said he's less irritable. But now, we need to talk about the flip side, the nuts that may be quietly hurting you. Brace yourself because while they may seem harmless, these next ones can sabotage everything we just talked about. Now we turn the page to a more dangerous side of the story, because not all nuts are safe for older men. In fact, some can quietly cause inflammation, interfere with your medications, or even raise your risk for serious issues like kidney stones, blood sugar spikes, or gallbladder strain. Let's begin with the biggest imposter in the nut world: peanuts. These aren't even true nuts. They're legumes, like beans, and that's where the trouble starts. Peanuts are notorious for containing aflatoxins, toxic compounds produced by molds that thrive in storage. Aflatoxins have been linked to liver damage and immune suppression, and they're far more dangerous as your body gets older and more vulnerable. But that's not all. Peanuts can cause low-grade inflammation, especially in men already dealing with joint pain, arthritis, or heart disease. Worse yet, they can interfere with how certain medications, like blood thinners or cholesterol drugs, are absorbed. I had a patient, Bob, 73, whose blood pressure meds weren't working as expected. We looked into his diet: a bag of salted peanuts every evening with his TV show. We removed them. 2 weeks later, his numbers stabilized. Peanuts may be cheap and familiar, but the price you pay in inflammation and poor absorption isn't worth it. Now brace yourself, because this next one is hiding a risk that most men have never heard of. Cashews. These are smooth, creamy, and unfortunately, high on a glycemic index. That means they spike your blood sugar fast. A dangerous game for anyone watching their insulin or trying to avoid type 2 diabetes. But the bigger problem with cashews is oxalates. These tiny compounds can promote the formation of kidney stones, especially in men who are dehydrated or already prone to urinary issues. I had one man, age 66, who started eating a handful of cashews daily thinking they were a healthy snack. 3 months later, he was in the ER with a stone that had to be surgically removed. And here/you 2019's the kicker: cashews are naturally toxic when raw. The ones you eat have to be steamed to remove urushiol, the same compound found in poison ivy. Doesn't exactly scream heart healthy, does it? Next, we need to talk about a silent saboteur that's often marketed as luxurious and heart smart. But for men over 60, it can backfire: macadamia nuts. Sure, they taste buttery and satisfying, but they come with a hidden burden: incredibly high fat and calorie density. Just a small handful can be over 200 calories, and the fats, while technically good, can overwhelm your aging gallbladder and digestive system. Older men often forget their metabolism isn't what it used to be. Macadamias can cause bloating, weight gain, and even raise LDL cholesterol in some men with pre-existing heart conditions. Worse, that extra fat load can tax your bile production and lead to gallstone formation. I once treated a patient who was eating macadamias daily. His cholesterol climbed, and so did his waistline. After we removed them and focused on lighter, leaner fats, his numbers improved within 45 days. Finally, let me warn you about one nut that rarely gets attention but deserves a place on the danger list: pine nuts. Sounds innocent, right? But pine nuts have a strange and unpredictable side effect: a condition called pine mouth. After eating them, some men report a persistent metallic taste in their mouths for days, even weeks. That might sound minor until you realize it can ruin your appetite, disrupt your sleep, and interfere with your desire to eat or even enjoy intimacy. But it gets worse. Pine nuts are known to interfere with drug absorption, especially in men taking thyroid, blood pressure, or diabetes medications. They also carry a high risk of provoking inflammation in sensitive individuals. And because they're so small, they can pose a choking hazard, especially for men with dental issues or dry mouth. One of my older patients, George, 78, tried pine nuts in a salad because he read they were Mediterranean and healthy. Within a week, he had acid reflux, nausea, and couldn't sleep due to the metallic aftertaste. It took weeks to resolve, and he said, "Doc, I'd rather eat cardboard than go through that again." So now you know which nuts to eat and which to avoid. But here's the question most men ask me: "Doc, how do I actually use this information?" Because knowing is only half the battle. The magic is in the method. Let's start with the best time to eat nuts. Morning is ideal. That's when your metabolism is just kicking in, your stomach is more receptive, and your body is ready to absorb nutrients. Nuts also curb hunger, which helps reduce snacking on less healthy foods. Here's my rule: pick 2 of the recommended nuts per day, rotate them through the week, and eat about a small handful, roughly 5 to 7 Brazil nuts per week, or 10 to 15 almonds, 6 to 8 walnut halves, or 20 pistachios per serving. That's enough to give you real benefits without overloading calories or fats. Let me walk you through a typical day I've recommended to patients for years. Morning. Start your day with a light breakfast. Oatmeal with sliced almonds, or Greek yogurt with crushed walnuts and a few berries. If you're intermittent fasting, break your fast with 2 Brazil nuts and a glass of water. Midday snack: a small bowl of pistachios, salt-free, ideally, or a mix of almonds and walnuts in a sandwich bag. Keep it by your desk or in your car. Better than a granola bar, and infinitely better than chips. Evening, optional. If you get that after-dinner craving, skip the sugary dessert. Instead, have a walnut or 2. They boost melatonin naturally and may support better sleep. Now let me tell you a story. Henry, a retired Army veteran, 71 years old, came to me feeling foggy, tired, and, his words, invisible. We made just 2 changes: added Brazil nuts and walnuts, cut out peanuts and cashews. In 6 weeks, he said, "Doc, I didn't know I could feel this awake without coffee." And my wife noticed too. Another case, Don, 68, diabetic, struggling with blood sugar spikes and intimacy. I told him to swap his crackers for pistachios and add almonds to his morning smoothie. His numbers stabilized, and he said something that stuck with me: "I feel balanced again, like my body and I are finally working together." Now, don't get me wrong, nuts aren't magic, but the right ones, used the right way, become tools. Natural tools. And older men do best with steady tools, not sledgehammers. But here's where men often go wrong. They overdo it. They eat entire jars of nuts. Too many calories, too much fat, too fast. They think if a little helps, a lot must help more. That's not how your body works at this stage of life. Balance is the secret, not intensity, consistency. Others mix healthy nuts with sugar-laced trail mix, candy-coated versions, or salted packs that raise their blood pressure. Don't undo the good. Choose raw, dry roasted, or lightly salted if you must. And most importantly, don't quit after a week. The benefits of better blood flow, better energy, stronger sleep, they build up. Your arteries are like old pipes. They don't unclog overnight. But with time, care, and the right tools, they do open. Now, if you've been feeling disconnected, low energy, or just a bit lost, know this: your body hasn't given up. It's waiting for small changes that unlock the big ones. So here's your challenge. Choose 2 of the healthy nuts I mentioned. Add them to your daily routine for the next 14 days. No peanuts, no cashews. Just clean, supportive fuel for a man who's not done living yet. Type 1 in the comments if you're in. Like this video if it gave you clarity. And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more to cover. In the next video, I'll be revealing a 5-second morning habit that supports nitric oxide, testosterone, and deep, restorative sleep. Gentlemen, your best years aren't behind you. They're just waiting for the right fuel to begin.